This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by BTC, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, Dunkin' Donuts, Fine Threads, First Caribbean Bank, Island Wholesale, John's Department Store, Joker's Wild, J.S. Johnson, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, and Tropical Gyros.
And good afternoon. No, it's not Naughty. It's Talking Heads with Pearlie again today. That young man is lost somewhere out there, so he called and asked if I would fill in for him again. So here I am, folks. Let's try and make this a fun day, talking some good stuff. We're going to have Roscoe Thompson, the island administrator, I think, from Spring City, Abaco. He's going to be with us at 4:30, and we're going to talk some things. We're going to look at what's going on in this little island, this little country of ours, and we should have a good talk. My mother says I'm talking too vehement. I must talk more polite, so I'm going to try to do that today. Welcome to Talking Heads, and let's get right to it. Let's figure out what's going on today within the country, what headlines are there. Oh, before we do all of that, we got to do one thing here first. I got to let you know how to call here in case you want to say something to me, I was told. So let's figure this out. Let's give you some calls. The text line is 422-4796. That's the text line. You can text me at 422-4796. I got a text already. I don't know about that brain teaser today. Naughty will bring that back tomorrow. I do apologize for that. And the call-in lines are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. I'll give them to you one more time. 323-6232, 325-4316, and 325-4259. So, Bahamas, how was your weekend? I had a real quiet weekend. Of course, I tried out quesadillas in the air fryer. I did the cheese quesadilla with chicken, and then I did just the cheese and chicken, and then I did one with the marinara sauce. Came out pretty good. I'm becoming quite the air fryer chef. So anybody got any nice recipes, feel free to send them to me anytime. But that was pretty much fun. Then chilled. We'll talk about that big Lakers win at the 5 o'clock hour, and we'll see what's going on. But let's see what's happening right now in the headlines. The Guardian headlines, big stuff. Tensions rise in the FNM. FNM leadership blocked minutes from addressing association. Apparently they had some row at the council meeting on Thursday. I don't know if it was that heated, but tensions are rising, and we'll see how that works out. I guess Dr. Minnis wants to go a certain place to speak, and the leadership of the party doesn't think he's supporting them. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. Bain and group attempt to tear down shanty town. Lincoln Bain is at it again. He made some attempt to tear down the shanty towns. Brother, let's leave that to the law. Mitchell, what more do you want us to do on immigration? And that was PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell warned party supporters during a PLP meeting last week not to be distracted by the narrative of some political protesters. Says the government is doing all it can do and trying to make some things happen. We'll keep a close watch on that. A little bit of sad news on the front page this morning. Man hit by jet ski dies. Apparently some jet ski accident happened out on Paradise Island on Saturday evening. And let's hope they be okay. And lastly, government has not abandoned crypto hub endeavors, says Minister Alcides. So that's a good thing to hear for your cryptocurrency aficionados. The Bahamas has not given up on its bid to become a cryptocurrency hub. Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Hakita said Thursday, explaining that there will be more communication from the government on the promotion of this jurisdiction as a crypto space soon. So we look forward to hearing from Minister Alcides on that. Let's see what's in the business page of The Guardian. The business page headline is "Government has not abandoned crypto hub endeavor," says Minister Alcides. So it goes into it a little deeper. Role on Bahamian-owned banks think bigger than the Bahamas. So they're talking about doing. Let me read the first part of it so we could get a clear picture on that. The key to developing more Bahamian-owned commercial bank is for not only a viable business plan and model to be secured, but for banking services to be provided beyond the Bahamas. Governor of Central Bank of the Bahamas, John Rhodes, said last week and Thursday. Bidding process for development of Family Island airports begin this week. The Minister of Tourism and Aviation announced that the bidding process will begin this week on the 14 airports for PPP, public-private partnership, and they will develop, manage, and promote the airports. And BTC ended 2022 with 170,400 mobile subscribers. Boy, I thought I was going to mess those numbers up. BTC ended 2022 with 170,400 mobile subscribers. BTC continues to bleed subscribers, ending 2022 with 170,400 mobile subscribers, down from 173,200 registered in the first half of last year. So they're taking the competition is setting in. It's all balancing out. So BTC has lost some customers, and I'm sure that will build back up pretty soon. So that's us in headlines. We'll take our first break, and when we come back, we will talk about global buzz out there.
Alert! The Dunkin' Maple Sugar Bacon Breakfast Sandwich is the perfect blend of maple and smoked bacon in every bite. Enjoy a fluffy egg, melted Swiss cheese, and sweet caramelized maple sugar smoked bacon, all stacked on a warm, flaky croissant. Make it a combo with lightly seasoned hash browns and your favorite freshly brewed Dunkin' coffee. Tap into maple flavor today at Dunkin'. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then fine threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, wanna step out and look great, then fine threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
When I got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Get your Carifta tickets. The 58 Carifta Games is coming. April 7th to April 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Online at Carifta50.com or at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, Western Grand Entrance. For more details, email tickets@Carifta50.com or call 605-4051.
Play the games, we make it making dreams come true. Play with Island Games. We paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market. You get cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first, guaranteed to pay. Island Games, we like them other jokers. We've been here from the start, from the bike to computer. Island Games, we gonna make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
Attention, all KFC lovers! Are you ready to get crazy on Tuesdays? Now you can get 5 juicy, mouth-watering pieces of KFC chicken for only $10. It's crazy! 5 pieces of world-famous KFC chicken, handmade with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices for only $10. Don't miss out! This crazy offer is only on Tuesdays and only at KFC. KFC Nassau. It's finger-licking good.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back. The Talking Heads. And from Talking Heads to Naughty, I'm Pearly, your host today. Somebody call me spiritual advisor. Far from that. So, I just wanted to say thanks, Fine Threads, for our headlines. We're going to flip it up a little bit because we're going to do the buzz a little later when Roscoe Thompson calls in from Abaco. But let's look at some global warming and brought to you and what's going around, what's been today in history, been going on around town, what's going on out there by KFC. Thank you, KFC. Let's see what's going on now. Let's check it out. Did y'all know Mardi Gras actually started a couple hundred years ago today? I think it would have been 1827. Some college kids decided they're going to get dressed and they're going to go running up and down, partying. Let me say, on February 27, 1827 is correct, a group of masked and costumed students danced through the streets of New Orleans, Louisiana, marking the beginning of the city's famous Mardi Gras celebration. That has grown into something fun. Well, I don't know if you want to call it fantastic, but it's grown into something. Back in 2010, Chile struck by an earthquake and tsunami. On this day in 2010, a magnitude 8.8 earthquake struck Chile, causing widespread damage and triggering a tsunami that devastated coastal areas. That was the most powerful earthquake to strike the region since 1960. In 2015, American actor Leonard Nimoy, who was best known for his portrayal of the Mr. Spock at the sci-fi TV and film franchise Star Trek. I used to be a Trekkie back in those days. He died at 83 back in 2015 on this date. In 2008, American editor and author William C. Buckley Jr., who became an important intellectual influence in the politics as the founder 55 and editor-in-chief of the journal National Review, which he used as a forum for conservative views and ideas. He died at 82. In 1991, U.S. President George H.W. Bush ordered a ceasefire effective at midnight and declared victory at the Persian Gulf War, a conflict triggered by Iraq's invasion and occupation of Kuwait in August of 1990. In 1973, 200 members of the American Indian movement forcefully took the reservation hamlet and of Wounded Knee, Dakota. In 1968, on this day, during a news broadcast, American journalist Walter Cronkite, who is considered the most trusted man in America, broke from his usual objectivity to predict that the Vietnam War would end only in a protracted stalemate. His commentary was credited with changing the U.S. public opinion of the conflict. In 1967, St. Kitts, right close to home, St. Kitts and Nevis with Anguilla became the independent state associated with the United Kingdom. And in 1951, the 22nd Amendment, which effectively limited the numbers of terms U.S. presidents may serve, was ratified. That's all I thought they started at 1951. In 1933, in Berlin, the Riksdag Parliament building caught fire, a key event in establishment of the Nazi dictatorship. And lastly, in 1932, American actress, the beautiful Elizabeth Taylor, whose career highlighted by award-winning portrayals of emotionally violated characters, was often overshadowed with a highly publicized personal life, was born in London in 1930. This had about 9,000 husbands. Every time I look, she was divorced and marrying someone again. I think she married Rock Hudson as well, maybe once or twice. So those are headlines brought to us by Global Warning, brought to us by KFC. And we should be having Roscoe call us in any minute now. Somebody texted and asked, what's going on with these shootings? That's why I try to stay home. How do we deal with this? I think that the police are doing as much as they can. I think that we as citizens need to don't cloak. We as citizens need to be more proactive in terms of talking to young men, talking to young women, trying to show them the purpose of life, trying to encourage them to get involved in other things. Not just church. They don't hear from church. They won't hear from the person on the street, the man on the street, the brother there who had some success from their neighborhood. Try to spend some time. That's one of the things I try to do. I try to spend time and talk to the young men in the Chipping Arm area just to encourage them, to guide them as best I can to say, hey, let's move in a better direction. I don't know much more we could do from that. We watch these TVs and they think what has happened on TV they could do, but I always tell them fellas just get up and go home after the movie finish. So when you see somebody get killed on the movie, that ain't for real. So what happens in the movies don't happen in the world, and we need to be more cognizant of that, and we need to practice and work on conflict resolution, how we can better solve these problems without throwing a fist, a rock, a bottle, or picking up a gun or a knife. And that is something that we need to work on. And I keep saying we need big brothers to deal with little brothers. I'm an advocate for big brother programs. I'm an advocate for talking to young men and showing them your success. And it don't mean that you have to be a millionaire to be successful, You just have to be doing okay, not getting in trouble, living a good life, moving and setting examples on how to live a good life. Going to church if you do decide to do it. If you don't go to church, fine. Doing positive things. Let the young men in your neighborhood see these positive things you're doing. Don't encourage that. When they do wrong, tell them where they're wrong. Sit down and have conversation. You'll be surprised how many young men will want to talk and just shoot the breeze. Not judging them, not condemning them, not jumping all over them, but having conversations with them, hearing what they say, and understanding their point of view on certain things. They think differently than we do. Our parents, my mom and dad used to be on me about certain things that I couldn't understand why they were like that. I became a parent and I understand there were certain things I thought differently than my sons and daughter thought about. Now, one of my sons is a father. He's thinking things differently as a father, not the way I did. And the way I raised my kids, I don't think he raised his the same way, and not the same way my parents raised me. So, I don't believe in spanking. Some people believe in spanking. I believe in punishing. I believe in taking away the things. I think a spank lasts 5, 10, 15 minutes. When that pain go away, that finish. But if you take something that they like, a PlayStation, the phone, not go to a party, I think that gets to the kids a lot more. So that's my view on how we could work on these shootings and work on crime, work on getting young men to talk. It's a process. It's not an overnight thing. It's not something that, this government coming and change today, that government coming. No, it has to be continuous. It has to be continuous program. The saying, it takes a village, is so true. It is so true that we need everybody to participate, everybody to be a part of it, everybody. And I ain't saying call the police and talk on the brothers, I ain't saying that. I saying talk to the brothers, have conversations with them. Try to make them understand what they're supposed to do. Try to make them understand that, let's go in a different direction. Oh, Texter said, okay, Pearlie, Emperor Min is trying to come back. What is your view on that? Pearlie, don't take the 5 of 8, that's abuse. PS5 of 8 is abuse. Listen, I'd rather take the PS5 away from you than spanking you. I think that's abuse. I rather let you not have to play that over the weekend and feel that pain and understand what it's about, and then you may think about doing it differently. What my view is on Dr. Min is coming back. I think everybody has a season. I think that everybody serves his purpose in politics, in life in this country, and I think that season is over. That's my view right there. And then there was plenty silence on that one. I'm trying not to, and please forgive me, audience, I don't want to get into that so much because I don't want my views spill over into what should be objectivity and balance. So that's why I'm not doing that. But I'm just going to be very vague and say a season is a season, and when the season over. When your mango season finish, you get ready for the next season, right? Okay, so this is Pintard season. back to this, looking at the headlines again and talking about the shanty towns and Mr. Bain trying to break down. I understand what I understand. I don't want to say I understand. I see where he's trying to go, and I understand that people have concerns about what's going on and what we may consider an immigration crisis. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs don't think there's an immigration crisis. Some people think there's an immigration crisis. We do have an immigration problem, at least that amount. We do have issues that need to be looked at. We do have ways that we should be dealing with it. And I did put my little scenario on how I thought we should deal with immigration and how we should deal with the illegal immigrant crisis or problem, if you want to put it, however you want to put it, Friday. And people who may have heard it, if you have a differ, say so. But I think that we need to, diplomacy, in my opinion, does better than antagonizing and being violent and trying to tear down, even though they may be, they are human beings, they all need a place to rest their head. They do need to be able to sit down and eat as a family, but we got to do it right. And I don't condone anybody coming in our country illegally. I don't condone anybody doing anything like that. So, Mr. Producer, Roscoe on the line yet? So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we will have the buzz from Abaco with Roscoe Thompson, Island Administrator out of Spring City, Abaco. This is Talking Heads and Naughty. Hey, I'm Pearly. Thanks for having me here.
Fried chicken, mashed potatoes with gravy, and a hot, buttery biscuit for only $5. That's genius! Part of the KFC Genius menu, the KFC $5 snack box delivers on flavor and value. Need to feed more than one? KFC's Great Picks has got you covered. Packed with 4 thighs and 4 legs, fried to golden perfection, plus 4 buttery biscuits for only $20. More genius! Hungry for deals? The Genius Menu at KFC. It's finger-licking good.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. Whatever the occasion, John's is confident you will find what you're looking for among our always growing collection of amazing and trendy styles. We cover women, men, children, the whole family. Together with John's great prices and helpful and friendly customer service, your experience in shopping with us will be time well spent. Too busy to come in store? Shop with us online. www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on in today at John's, where we put fashion at your feet.
Fidelity, we're good for you. With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
J.S. Johnson Insurance agents are the best. Reliable service, we've been on the scene, protecting since 1919. J.S. Johnson Insurance has the test. You'll always cover me. J.S. Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Get your Carifta tickets. The 58th Carifta Games is coming. April 7th to April 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Online at Carifta50.com or at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, Western Grand Entrance. For more details, email tickets@Carifta50.com or call 605-4051.
Experience a flavor explosion. with the new Italian mozzarella chicken sandwich from Dunkin'. Loaded with juicy chicken, marinara sauce, a generous drizzle of pesto sauce, all topped off with melted cheese and served on a warm, flaky croissant. Made to order all day long, the Dunkin' Italian mozzarella chicken sandwich combo includes a bag of baked lays and a freshly brewed iced tea. Enjoy a taste of Italy in every bite. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back, and this is Pearlie filling in at Talking Heads for Naughty today. Somebody texted me and asked me what kind of Pearlie is a radio name. First of all, I'm not a permanent radio host. I'm just filling in for a minute. So that's the name I'm going to have. And yes, I can read Mr. Friend. I was a little nervous, and I don't have my glasses on. Anyway, before we go to our guests, let's read a couple of texts. One text wrote, I think it's the opposite. I think the pain/fear from the spanking lasts and taking away things doesn't. Even in the classroom, taking away privileges does not work. Next tester said, Pearlie, you realize the route Lincoln is taking will explode, and if the illegal people attack and start routing, this could get ugly. That is my biggest concern about all of this. That is my biggest concern, that somebody's going to get froggy and jump and try to attack a immigrant, or may get froggy and try to attack a Bahamian, and this gets nasty. This is not, and they're playing on Bahamian Affairs. Book out a page of the Trump book. Ministers should have given up after losing in 2021 and stop wasting taxpayers' money. That was another texter. Mr. Producer, we have a couple of guests out of Abaco, my good buddy and friend. He has a really, really good last name, similar last name. We're gonna go with Roscoe Thompson, chairman. See, I promoted him and made him island administrator, trying to give him a job, but no, it's not that. Roscoe Thompson is joining as chairman of the Marsh Harbor Spring City Township, and he's joined by Lovely Rackley, who is also a member of the board for the Spring City Township. Roscoe, Lovely, welcome to Talking Heads with Pearlie. It's going to be a little different than what you're used to, I guess, but glad to have you here. And how's everything going in the great island of Abaco?
Glad to be on. We're right here, taking it day by day.
I haven't been to Abaco.
Happy to be with you.
More than happy to have you, Lovely. More than happy to have you. I haven't been to Abaco in over a year, so what's going on in Abaco today? Fill me in. What's been happening? I mean, I listen to you and Naughty every week. I have a general idea of what's going on in Abaco. Nothing. But tell me what's happening in Abaco.
It's the same old. It's like nothing since the election. Nothing is really taken off the ground. The DRA is still. I don't know the word to use, but lackadaisy in getting back up and running. I don't know if they've got the funding and doing assessments. Immigration in regards to the shanty towns, out of hand, the illegal building that is continuing to be going on. I can say one thing, our power is probably the only steady thing that we have going on over here right now.
I was going to ask you about electricity.
Our water is up and down, but one time ago we always complained about BPL. Seems nowadays they're more in tune and keeping us up to date.
Very good. That's excellent. And you say water's up and down. You have water today, none tomorrow, water half the day.
Yeah, like water pressure was off mid-morning today. It goes off in the evening sometimes. Ms. Rackley, you want to step in?
Yep, that's one of the major problems, our water. But a lot is happening on the ground now. Can say that immigration has come in. They're starting to do what they're supposed to do. I don't know how long it's going to last. But we had a meeting the other night and spoke with one of the police. He didn't come in as a police. He came in as a concerned citizen. And one of the thing about it is, he is a Haitian. His parents are Haitian. He was born in the Bahamas.
He's a Bahamian of Haitian. He's a Bahamian of Haitian descent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And he does not like what's happening with the illegal situation. So I want you to know that Haitians are working behind the scene too, trying to get the situation cleared up.
So are you getting a lot of illegals coming back to Abaco since Dorian?
Oh, yeah.
This was always there.
They poured in. It was worse than the tsunami that we had.
Mr. Pinder, if you saw that video of our MP the other day saying that no boats have arrived here in Abaco and recent, I don't know where he gets his information, because if you go back a few weeks ago, there was a boat behind Pelican Shores that, immigration got there and afterwards, and then the same boat was run aground down by Treasure Key. There was another picture of another boat posted on.
Were they catching illegal immigrants on these boats? That when the boat that ran aground the Treasure Key, were people on the boat?
Yeah, they did catch. I know they caught. I don't know if they caught illegals, but I know they caught some. They caught some people.
Okay.
But to sit here and say, and listen, I have a lot of friends in the Haitian community. This past weekend, or I should say last weekend, a boat just came in on Sunday. I don't know why you would make a statement like that on national, the national press that we don't have boats coming in. That's just
the boat that came in on Sunday. Were they? I mean, illegals were caught. Were they arrested? Were they immigration?
No.
So do you have an idea how many people was on that boat?
No idea. It was just from a friend of mine that, had when we were talking about the discussion of the boats, and she said, and it's a woman, she says, Mr. Thompson, the boat just came in on Sunday. They don't know when these boats are coming.
Well, wow. That's interesting.
And beside that one on Sunday, the past couple months, we had about 7 boats. It's alleged it's about 7 boats that came into Abaco. Okay,
7.
One of them accidentally went into Sandy Point. They missed their mark and they end up in Sandy Point.
So when you say accidentally went into Sandy Point, what happens when you go into Sandy Point?
Well, Sandy Point is not central, so
Okay.
you're a distance away from central.
Yes, I know that.
And for you to get to your destination, you got to do quite a bit of walking. But what happened is, when these people come in, I don't know where they get their stuff from. They come in, they have cell phones, because the cell phone has the GPS on it where they're supposed to be going. I get my information. The people just come and tell me. I don't belong. They come tell me. Their cell phones have the GPS information on where they're supposed to be going. So when you see them walking the road with their backpacks on, and they have a cell phone in their hand, that means that they just get in, and they're now finding their direction and where they need to go. And we see this often.
So immigration is not, people are not, immigration not stopping them, not questioning them, not going.
Oh, yeah, no. This, like Ms. Reckley said, this past week, I saw more activity, and I have to give my hands off to the head of immigration over here, Mr. LaRoda.
Okay.
They were inside the food stores, Maxwell's, Abaco Groceries, different businesses, on the road, picking people up that did not have, proper documentation. So they have been on the ground. The activity that we saw, what would you say, the last 10 days, Ms. Reckley?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been very positive.
Let me ask you this question. What is the relationship like with the Haitian diaspora and the Bahamians? Is it tense right now? Are they gelling? Are they getting along? Are we okay in Abaco? That's my question, I guess.
Yeah. Most believe it or not, maybe Miss Reckley might see some things a little differently than I do in that regards. But in regards to the, that I want, has the right way, the Haitian Bahamian or Bahamians of Haitian descent that are here that don't have documentation.
Well, if you're here and you don't have
file that.
documentation, if you're born here, you're not Bahamian, unless, that's my Earl's view.
Right, but you have people in limbo. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I don't see the tension right now. Can I see it being a problem in the foreseen future? Yes.
All right. Let me. One of the things that type person I am, and when it comes to stuff like not just this, but anything that when it comes to dealing with the country, I don't just believe that government should do all the work. What are the community leaders? What is the your board or what are the church? What is the church, and what are the other community leaders? Are you having meetings to come up with ideas and how to combat, how to work with this, how to make it better? Or are some of our community leaders guilty of encouraging this?
I'll step in on this one. Because to the truth of the matter is, we have Bahamians to blame for some of the stuff that's going on. But we had our first meeting with some of the community leaders, some of the people who were concerned. We had our first meeting. And in the meeting, we learned a lot of stuff because the police officer that was there, who's involved in it, he told us what's actually going on.
Okay.
They actually go and door to door. And the plan is to give them 3 months warning.
Fair enough. And
let them know you have to get your business in order because you're going to be deported out of the country. Now, the government is singing a different tone because according to what I hear, they're making plans to assist these people. And the government was actually trying to regulate. The fight really is with the government, though we say the people on the ground should be involved. We can only be involved so much. But when it comes to carrying out the laws of the country, that's the government duty to enforce. And that was not being enforced. Because my question always was to Ministry of Works, how in the world did you sit back and allow all these buildings to be erected? Because if Bahamians tried that, I tried to put on a 12 by 12. I had to go get a plan drawn. I had to I had to carry it to Ministry of Works, let them stamp it, get my permit before I could start to do anything. So how in the world it's okay for these people? That's the first thing. These things are illegal.
Okay. So in other words, the community leaders are putting a plan together to submit to the government or to whoever in terms of how to assist and best deal with this situation.
Right. In fact, they have a task force down here.
Okay, that's one.
They have one. They have a task force.
I asked these questions because I saw a TikTok going around where a guy was agreeing with some things that somebody else was doing out there towards and saying that he can't work because he can't make $150 to $200 a day as a painter, carpenter, or a skilled laborer, and that the illegal immigrants are taking $80 a day. Now I'm mixed on that. While I side with him and understand you shouldn't undersell yourself, you shouldn't you shouldn't cheapen yourself. You're still walking away from money. And in the same instance,
these guys can't get jobs,
No, I know, but I'm saying, but in the same instance, Bahamians are hiring these people. Bahamians are encouraging this, or is it?
No,
so that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking.
Okay, what's happening down here now? The Haitians are getting the contracts, especially at Bakersfield and places like that. The Haitians are getting the contracts.
The Haitian, when you say and I want to be clear now, because the Haitian Bahamians or Haitian?
No, the Haitians are getting the contracts.
Non-Bahamian Haitians.
Non-Bahamian Haitians are getting the contracts.
Illegal Haitians are getting the contracts.
They hire their people because there's a lot of fraudulent work permit and all that stuff that's going on. There's a lot of that stuff that's going on. So they hire their people. They're not going to hire Bahamians. They hire their people to do the job. So Bahamians, the contractors can't get jobs. So that means the local workers can't get jobs, and that's what our problem is.
Okay,
because
but
they're hiring all the Haitians. The second home owners are doing the same thing.
So, but Baker's Bay is Bahamian owned. Bahamians are there. So Bahamians are hiring the Haitians who are hiring the Haitians.
No.
Bahamians are giving the contracts to the Haitian companies. So Haitian contracts.
Remember now, Baker's Bay is not Bahamian owned.
Well, okay.
So they hire who they want to hire. Remember now, when it was in the pandemic, when Bahamians need to work, they brought in Mexicans to do the work because they don't want to pay the Bahamian people the money. They feel like it's too much to pay the Bahamians. So they go to cheap labor and the government allow it.
So it happened under that government and happening under this government.
Both government are the same.
All right. Just different pew. Same church, different pew.
Yeah, different faces. But the
Yeah,
same
you
game.
got a lot of you have to tackle, and I do agree with Miss Reckley, and I do agree with you, Earl, to a certain point that, you know, us as Bahamians have to be very vigilant. If I have somebody here on a work permit, they're supposed to work for me and me only. I'm responsible for their housing. I'm responsible for their NIB. I'm responsible for where they live, not on a piece of property on Crown land, but I'm supposed to provide applications for them as well as a salary. We have a big problem over here with second homeowners, you know, that do hire people that, one, don't have a work permit for them. They work for somebody else, but they make up a day here, a day there.
Okay.
And I do hope that the government, you know, does address that, because it's not just, it's a twofold problem. It's stopping the illegals from coming in, but it's also enforcing what Bahamians are doing. Some of this land that they're building on is actually Bahamian owned. Bahamians are making money off of it, which the government needs to target them. I did see a clip from Obie Wilshcombe, or the Minister Obie Wilshcombe, with social services in regards to, you know, when their directive and what they need to do and the team that they're being put together and, you know, all this. My question is I understand that we need to do that, but we have Bahamians living in tents and domes. So...
But Roscoe, before I want to ask you about the domes. Just take this caller quickly, and then I'm going to come back and ask you about the domes. Just hold that thought right there for me, Roscoe. Caller, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon to you.
How are you, sir?
Good afternoon to Roscoe. Good afternoon, Miss Radley. You know, I'm listening to this conversation, and I am very perturbed. I mean, not surprised, but very perturbed. You know, many of us seem as if we want to stick our heads in the sand and not acknowledge that a lot of the foolishness that we see going on with this illegal migration and many other issues that should not be going on in this country, that successive governments aren't aware of. You know, we have to accept that this illegal migration situation is big business. This is a transnational type business. And you'll be surprised to know if someone truly does an in-depth investigation into this matter, you'll be surprised at the names that can be called. In this country, we as Bahamians of it, you know, we're tired. We've been our grandfathers and grandmothers have been talking about this problem from time immemorial. And now today, still 30, 40 years later, even 50 years later, we're still discussing this problem, where we can see it seems to be, and I won't even use the word allege, because any time you talk about allege, it seems to take away from the credibility of the context of what we're discussing here. The bottom line here is...
Caller, but you got to be careful now, because...
No.
Hold on, let me say this.
I am very selective with my words, okay?
You just want to be careful.
I'm very careful.
All right, sir.
The thing what I'm trying to say here is that it is obvious that this is a big transactional business with some heavy hitters involved in this thing.
There's been a lot of rumors going around about it, a lot of talk on the streets.
5 prongs I'll put to this, and then I'll end my conversation here.
Yes, sir.
5 prongs we have to be very concerned with. And I think I can get agreement around the table with this. First, you're talking about illegal migration. You're talking about prostitution. You're talking about gun running. You're talking about drugs. You're talking about even organ harvesting, because some of these people go missing. You talk about human smuggling. And lastly, paying off governments to allow these activities to happen. We cannot dismiss these things off the table. I'm not specifically saying the current administration. I am talking about successive governments. Persons are obviously knowledgeable about what's going on with this matter. We have to bring this matter to a close. If they're talking about bringing our sovereignty, talking about bringing stability back to this country, and restoring the identity of Bahamians, organic Bahamians in this country. These things must be done. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling, Colin. And just before Roscoe, I let you comment on that. I just want to, a texter said, she being Miss Lovely Reckley, is absolutely correct. How can the government allow them to build structures without proper permits, but Bahamians have to get approval to build a 10 by 10 structure on their own property? So that texter is agreeing with you.
We've been saying that. I've been saying that since after Hurricane Dorian. It's a fight that we've over here. When we see buildings going up, we go to Ministry of Works, and supposedly they put a stop work order on the structure. But before you know it, nothing's done. So it comes back to that enforcement of the different branches doing their job, which Ms. Reckley said. But I do agree with the texter too. We as Bahamians have to go through the proper channels, show ownership of property to get a permit number to build a building. That should be for everybody. Once that's not done, that's illegal. You have no right to build.
I know what you mean. It is illegal, and I would hope that this task force brings some semblance of moving in the right direction in what's going on in Abaco. We have another caller on the line. Caller, are you with me?
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, my brother?
What's up?
What concerns me or what bothers me about this whole situation is every way we turn, Bahamians are being disenfranchised. Let's take, for instance, the dome structures in Abaco. Let's forget about the circumstances. Who built them, why they were built, the condition they were in. Bahamians were living in those domes. Some Bahamians were living in those domes. And the government came and built those domes. No questions asked. Hey, the law is the law. Pull them, knock them down. But when it comes to the Haitians, Lincoln Bay knows they grab a piece of land in Nassau. Government came out with guns and tanks and all kind of armored stuff to move them off the crown land. That same thing doesn't apply to the shanty town. Again, it seems like every time it comes to a situation where we try to move the Haitians or try to put some control in place to regulate the Haitians, it is met with some kind of resistance at every angle. But when it comes to the Bahamian, we get no questions asked. The law is the law. The law is the law. Lock them up, move them, whatever you need to do. So I'm just kind of disturbed by how it seems that Haitians have more rights, are more protected in the Bahamas, and that is really bothering me.
I think it's bothering a lot of Bahamians. But caller, thanks for calling in. I think it's my concern is it is a big concern to all of us, and I know how you guys feel in Abaco, Roscoe, and Miss Reckley. Let's take just one more caller, and then we'll come back to you, Roscoe.
Today, how are you guys?
I'm pretty good, my brother. How are you?
Good. I think one of the most listening, Roscoe on the show, and he's trying to explain, and trying to hit home a point where the aims need to stop playing victims also, and take some level of responsibility for the damages we contribute to this problem. The 2013 Shantytown report from the last Shantytown task force, and the findings was, you are Bahamians living in these Shantytowns also. The land, a lot of the land that Baytowns currently exists is crown land leased to Bahamians for farming. And they would take those particular lands and lease them out for people to build structures on. And sometimes they build the structures and lease them out, to whether they're legal or illegal immigrants. So we have a little stigma in the country also where even if a legal immigrant comes here by plane and have a work permit, it's difficult for them to get housing and to get rent apartments here. So they go to these particular areas where they can get some type of affordable housing or a place to go. But Roscoe said something interesting, and one of the major issues we have also is, as long as we're talking about going first world and development and bringing in all of these investors, they coming in here to build, and we have an issue with skilled labor also. And we can ignore it. We could talk, but we want more money for labor. We have an issue with skilled labor, so that creates an environment. It's been from the 1900s, the early 1900s, where whether it's Jamaicans and Haitians and people from Barbados coming here to build up this country, for skilled labor. In Abaco, that's one of the main issues where we have the issue in Abaco, the farming in Abaco. That's how Freeport was built. The city of Freeport was built. Wallace Grove was just developing. It was Jamaicans and Haitians. And coming over here with work permits.
I bet you, Carl.
And we need to be honest, man. Be honest. Yes, we have a level of corruption, but also Bahamians contribute a lot to this issue with illegal immigrants. And illegal immigrants don't necessarily mean just Haitians coming here and thriving. It's migration. It's foreigners who have second homes, who are hiring them for cheap labor, right? And that's another, is the people that have the status who are hiring illegal immigrants. So now, people don't go somewhere where they're not wanted, where they can't find work, where they can't find living, or where they can't find food.
Call out, but it is. My producer is shouting at me. It's 5 o'clock.
Okay, man.
I got to go to the news break, but I do appreciate your call. It's good that somebody called in while I'm on the show. I do appreciate you calling. You made some very valid points. Roscoe, don't go anywhere. We're going to come right back afterwards for us to wrap up.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by BTC, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, Dunkin' Donuts, Fine Threads, First Caribbean Bank, Island Wholesale, John's Department Store, Joker's Wild, J.S. Johnson, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, and Tropical Gyros.
And we're back. Talking Heads with Naughty. This is your host today, Pearly. Just before we go to you, Roscoe, I want to read from the text line. If Bahamians empty homes, would there be a problem breaking them down? Roscoe, before we just, I know we're into the sports hour, but I couldn't just say bye without you having an opportunity to have this. You and Ms. Rackley have something to say. My question to you is, we heard a lot of, we got some calls, we heard some people said some things today. What solution or what suggestions would you or the board and Ms. Rackley would say to the Bahamian people in your wrap-up as to how we can move towards solving this problem today? Did we lose Roscoe?
Sounds so.
Oh, well.
No, let Ms. Rackley go.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms.
Okay.
Rackley.
One of the solution, in fact, I told them what we need to do. The shanty towns are built on Crown land. Crown land was leased to the Bahamian people. So what the government need to do is find those people who the Crown land was leased to, find them with $10,000 imprisonment, and the ones who are giving out, who have work permits, signing up all these work permits, the same thing applies. And I can promise you, I can guarantee you, if the government starts to find them, we won't have any shanty towns on these government crown land.
I hear that. Roscoe?
The one thing that I've always said is rental properties over here is a issue. We need to look at a PPP partnership with the private and the government and opening not these low-income single-family houses, but actually apartments that people can rent. You need to get to where we have adequate housing for people that are coming into this country for legal migration to work or whatever it may be. One thing that I will say to the government, and I hope, because keep local government in the loop. We are the people on the ground. We are the ones that can tell you and help you out and what's going on. Ministry of Works needs to be involved, immigration, defense force. It has to be an all-agency fight in regards to this. But in the flip side of it, we need to have a plan, because I do agree with one thing. Let me just answer this, and I'll say this. The guy that texted on or whoever texted on that, if there were Bahamians living in there that they legally built, yes, they should be knocked down. That's my stance on that. If you do not have a permit number, you don't have the right. But on the flip side of it too, if the government goes in there right now and knocks down all them houses, we are going to have a crisis over here, because we do not have enough rental places and housing to even keep those people or put the people into, because we don't have housing for our teachers and government living in trailers.
You have a serious housing problem as it is now.
We have a serious housing problem. I hear about the Spring City housing development under Minister Kobe Davis and Sweden's Village, but I've yet to see anything be brought to the public with that. Has it been presented in the Guardian, the Tribune?
I don't remember seeing anything.
Notifying, because when you do a division or subdivision or an act, that's supposed to be publicized.
Yes.
So I just hope the government works with local government and your councils to rectify and to help in this. Because it's not just, a government problem. It's a Bahamas problem with all Bahamians.
It's not a you problem. It's not a me problem. It's an our problem.
Right.
It's our problem.
On that note, Roscoe, Ms. Reckley, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope it wasn't too painful being with me today, but I enjoyed having you, enjoyed talking to you, and I look forward to one day hosting the show for Naughty again and we having another conversation. But I do look forward to being in Abaco Real when I get there.
It was a pleasure being with you.
Okay, thanks for chiming in.
Please do, sir.
Okay, thanks for chiming in, and take care. God bless you.
God bless. Have a good day.
God bless.
We're going to switch right into the sports hour right away. I think we got Peter on the line reading, but we're going to take a quick break. That's what we're going to do, Mr. Producer. And we'll be right back with Peter. We're going to talk about some flag football, and we're going to get into some other things. You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty. It's the sports hour.
Wednesday, March 8th, 2023 is International Women's Day, a day celebrated globally as a focal point in the women's rights movement, bringing attention to issues such as gender equality, reproductive rights, and violence and abuse against women. Equity isn't just a nice to have, it's a must have. A focus on gender equity needs to be a part of every society's DNA, and it's critical to understand the difference between equity and equality. Guardian Media wants all Bahamians to truly embrace equity. It's not just something we write about. It's something we need to think about, know, and embrace. It's what we should believe in, unconditionally. This International Women's Day, Guardian Media wants you and your company to embrace equity. Guardian Media wants you to celebrate the women in your organization this International Women's Day by placing them in an ad in our International Women's Day supplement. For more information, call 302-2300. 302-2300, or call your account executive. International Women's Day, Wednesday, March 8th, 2023. Embrace equity.
Naughty Johnny's restaurant can only be described as the experience you want to recreate again and again and again. Their motto is simple food done well. You're welcome into their home at Naughty Johnny's, where you can dine on crack conch fritters, and other Bahamian favorites. There's also an international flair that's guaranteed to offer something for everyone. Enjoy a good meal and listen to a live band on their patio Friday and Saturday nights, or brunch on Saturday and Sunday, only at Naughty Johnny's restaurant in the Old Town Plaza, Old Fort. They're open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Naughty Johnny's.
Fine style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then Fine Threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, wanna step out and look great, then Fine Threads is your place. With fine style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
Whether your business is in store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
Play with Island Games, we making dreams come true. Play with Island Games, we paying more out to you. Don't mind the noise in the market, you getting cash in your pocket. 'Cause Island Games is spicy, and spicy is tradition. So when you play Island Games, we putting Bahamians first, guaranteed to pay. Island Games, we like them other jokers, we've been here from the start, from the bike to computer. Island Games, we gonna make your dreams come true. We playing with Island Games.
Attention, all KFC lovers! Are you ready to get crazy on Tuesdays? Now you can get 5 juicy, mouth-watering pieces of KFC chicken for only $10. It's crazy! 5 pieces of world-famous KFC chicken, handmade with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices for only $10. Don't miss out! This crazy offer is only on Tuesdays and only at KFC. KFC Nassau. It's finger-licking good.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back. Talking Heads with Naughty, and I'm Pearly filling in. We're going to get to Peter right now. There's 2 things I got to take care of. I got to read this text. When people send you text to swell your head, you got to read it. Good afternoon, Earl the Pearl. I hope that's your name, as Naughty always has that. I listen to the show all the time, and I want you to know that you've done a great job filling in for Naughty. Continue to do well. God bless. God bless you too. Thank you ever so much. That's a good feeling. Now we're into the sports hour. Just before we get to Peter, we're going to talk about today's in sport, which is brought to you by Naughty Johnny's. Naughty Johnny, I think they have happy hour 5 to 7. In 1908, Major League Baseball adopted the sacrifice fly rule for the first time. It was repealed, reinstated, and then changed several times before being permanently accepted in 1954. In 1912, the New York Yankees announced that they will be wearing pinstripes on their uniforms. And that's why the pinstripe. Yeah. Anyway, that's Naughty's team. In 1963, Mickey Mantle signed a contract worth $100,000 with the New York Yankees. How much do you think he'll get now? In 1973, Dick Allen, Chicago White Sox, signed a contract worth $350,000 a year for 3 years. They get $350 million now. In 1977, Stan Mikita, Chicago Blackhawks, scored his 500th goal. In 1987, the NCAA canceled SMU, Southern Methodist University's entire night schedule for gross violation of NCAA rules on athletic corruption. In 1996, the Chicago Bulls reached 50 victories in 56 games to set an NBA record. In 2001, the New Jersey Devils began a streak of 10 consecutive road wins to tie the NHL record. In 2002, the Houston Astros announced that they had struck a deal with Enron to buy back the naming rights for their ballpark for $2.1 million. The ballpark would be called Astro Field until a new sponsor came along. In 2003, Emmitt Smith, that's a Dallas Cowboy, that's another Naughty team, became a free agent for the first time when the Dallas Cowboys released him. And your sports quote of the day: what's the worst thing that can happen to a quarterback? He loses his confidence. Terry Bradshaw, former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback and Fox announcer. That's Today in Sports, brought to you by Naughty Johnny's. Mr. Producer, where's Peter? Peter, are you there? Did Peter go home? He says you muted him. Nope. Are you with me, Peter? Not. Well, let's look at until Peter gets back on the line. Let's look at Bahamian, what's happening on the Bahamian front today in sports. As we know, on Wednesday, March 1st to Friday, March the 3rd, is going to be the Fidelity BAISS Track and Field Championships at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. The defending champs, I can't be biased. I have to be nice, Mr. Producer. The defending champs, the St. Augustine's College Big Red Machine, will try to defend against schools like Queens College Comets, St. John's Green Giants, St. Anne's Blue Waves, Aquinas College, and other schools will be trying to compete against the Big Red Machine to claim that the Fidelity BAISS Track and Field Championships beginning 10 a.m. Wednesday, March 1st and until Friday, March 3rd at the Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium. Go on out and support your teams. Go on and watch. It is a Carifta qualifying meet, so it would be nice to go and see and support. I'll be there, and I'm going to be biased. I'll be there cheering on my Big Red Machine. Who don't like it too bad? Hugh Campbell Basketball Championships are tonight. The C.I. Gibson Rattlers will face the Sunland Stingrays for the championship tonight. Sunland defeated Tabernacle last night. I don't have the score. And then, yes, Sunland beat Tabernacle 66-55. And then C.I. Gibson, they beat St. George's last night. So it'll be C.I. the Rattlers being 66-62. That was C.I. And so tonight, C.I. Gibson Rattlers, Sunland. Let's keep the championship here. Let's keep the championship in Nassau. Jones McCoy win conference titles, and other Bahamians win medals. Track and field is blowing up in NCAAs, and I think the nationals will be in May. Swimmers achieved qualifying times at the Blue Wave meet, so that's more swimmers have qualified for the Carifta Games. The 2002 Milo Butler Invitational, there were swimmers going under Carifta qualifying times, as well as previous qualifiers improving their times. The meet took place this past weekend at the Betty Kelly Kenning National Aquatic Center. So coming up, you got Carifta here, I got swimming, and the Bahamas is poised and doing very well and getting together to get there. Is Peter on the line yet? Oh, Peter gone, so Peter don't talk. Let's talk some basketball then. Lakers. And you know, Naughty has become he looks like he's starting to lean back into the Los Angeles Lakers fold. But last night, the Lakers played the Dallas Mavericks. And I watched the game, and I haven't been watching a lot of Laker games, but I decided since these trades went down and they got D'Angelo Russell and they picked up some other players, I decided to start watching the Lakers game. Turned on the TV last night, Lakers down by 27 points. You know, every bad word I know came out, all two of them. And as I watched the game, I watched that team start to come together. Anthony Davis played a great game. Vanderbilt, the kid, this unknown guy to the Lakers, I don't think he was even supposed to be in the trade, who the Lakers picked up. He put up 15 points and 17 boards last night. The Lakers came all the way back from 27 down to defeat the Dallas Mavericks 111-108. The Dodgers in exhibition and in preseason baseball beat the Cubs 9-4. That's the day. Some other basketball games, the Bucks beat the Phoenix Suns 104-101. That was a great game. I see the Atlanta Hawks starting to play some really good basketball right now. They defeated the Brooklyn Nets 129-127. And the Bulls beat up on Washington 102-82. Cleveland came through to beat the Raptors 118-93. Oklahoma Thunder, they lost to the 17th. Sacramento know how to score. They don't play no defense, but they can score. They can score, and they can score. I see the Golden State Warriors defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves 109-104, which is good for the Lakers because the Lakers beat Golden State and the Timberwolves are losing, so they're getting more on the loss column. So the Lakers are sneaking up. They are in goal and trying to get to that sixth spot. We'll see what happens. Portland Trailblazers were all over the Houston Rockets last night, 131-114. Damian Lillard said it was Dame time. He put up 71 points last night. He had 41 points in the first half. Everything he shot was dropping. Every shot he made was dropping. Every shot. He had 13 three-pointers. He did try, attempted the 14th one. It didn't land. That's probably the only shot he missed last night. But he was on fire. If that was a Xbox or PlayStation game, it'd have been that little fire thing on top of his head, and you'd see the ball shooting in flames. He was on fire. Denver Nuggets defeated the Clippers 134-124. A lot of people saying the Clippers could be the team in the NBA final. I don't see it. I really don't see it. I am not impressed by them. I don't know if they can get their act together, but they now get Russell Westbrook there. I don't know if they can pick up their act or anything like that. So that's going to be real interesting to see. Real interesting to see where they go, and how they get there. I'd like to hear your comments on that one now. Baseball, the combines, for sports aficionados, that's who have nothing else in life to do but watch sports. NFL combines began on NFL Network. So this way you get to see these college kids run, jump, how well they 40-yard dash, how the quarterback show their skills, the cornerback show their coverage skills, the wide receivers show their route running skills. I mean, for a football fan, it's kind of cool to watch. I mean, I wouldn't spend all day watching, but it's kind of cool to watch. You get to see, and that's where you get to find out about some players. You get to hear about some players. There's going to be that one kid. There's going to be that one kid who's going to blow off the 40-meter dash or the 40-yard dash, and you're going to see that one kid is going to remember. That's Tyreek Hill. When he came up there and he ran, people was like, Tyreek Hill, who's this Tyreek Hill kid? Until they saw what he did. This is where you get to meet people. This is where you get to see the future stars of the NFL coming up. So we'll see how that goes. Don't forget the Fidelity BASS Track and Field Championships Wednesday at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. The 1st to the 3rd, Wednesday to Friday. It's a Carifta qualifier. St. Augustine's is the defending champs. QC didn't participate last year, so they're coming in this year. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see if there's something good to be talking about there. In international soccer, until we don't talk about a lot of that, Lionel Messi won the FIFA Top Award for the second time. In other words, he's the best men's player in football, in soccer. For us who don't understand when I say football, Lionel Messi just came off with winning the World Cup. Now he's taking home this trophy. His season, his year has been fantastic to win the World Cup, to be considered the best player in the world. It's amazing. And Lionel Messi is something to watch. It's something to watch. I see Carson Wentz was cut by the Commanders, and who's in and who's out. Carson Wentz cut by the Commanders. Washington will save $26 million in salary him. So something's going down there. The enemy coming there, he cleaning house. Something's going to happen there. Could we see somebody, the car there, or could we see Aaron Rodgers go there? That's going to be quite interesting to see what happens there. That's going to be quite interesting. In college basketball, Houston stays number 1. And all the seasons end now, so you got tournament play coming up next week. So you got all the conference tournament play. This way, you got that team that is maybe 9-20 and had no chance in hell to make the NCAA tournament and end up winning their conference. And because some conferences get automatic bids to the tournament. If you win the conference, you automatically go, no matter how you finish in the rankings, no matter how you finish in the season. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see just how these tournaments get used. You see stuff like that in the ACC tournament, maybe in the SEC tournament, because you got some young players there like Alabama and all that, really playing some great basketball, playing some really, really good basketball. So this weekend is all the conference tournaments to watch, and then right after that, the field is 68, and then they break it down to the field is 64, and then March Madness wins. We'll take a break. Mr. Producer will take a break, and we'll be right back with Talking Heads and Naughty. I'm Pearly, filling in for Naughty, and he'll be back tomorrow.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. Whatever the occasion, John's is confident you will find what you're looking for among our always growing collection of amazing and trendy styles. We cover women, men, children, the whole family. Together with John's great prices and helpful and friendly customer service, your experience in shopping with us will be time well spent. Too busy to come in store? Shop with us online. www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on in today at John's, where we put fashion at your feet.
Experience a flavor explosion with the new Italian mozzarella chicken sandwich from Dunkin'. Loaded with juicy chicken, marinara sauce, a generous drizzle of pesto sauce, all topped off with melted cheese and served on a warm, flaky croissant. Made to order all day long, the Dunkin' Italian mozzarella chicken sandwich combo includes a bag of baked lays and a freshly brewed iced tea. Enjoy a taste of Italy in every bite. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Is your 2023 goal to move into your own home? Well, future homeowner, enjoy another payday. Build or buy a home with financing from CIBC and you'll receive cash back every month for 1 year. A home is one of your greatest investments, so secure one soon. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/homeowners payday for more info. Offer valid from January 9 through to March 31, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
Get your Carifta tickets. The 58th Carifta Games is coming. April 7th to April 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Online at Carifta50.com or at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, Western Grand Entrance. For more details, email tickets@Carifta50.com or call 605-4051.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back. Talking Heads and Naughty, and I'm Pearly. Peter, are you there?
Am I?
Baby, where you been, baby?
The Dolphins still suck.
So does Dallas and the Bears. You really want to talk about who suck and talk about the Bears who got the number one pick, and y'all still don't know what to do with that number one pick?
I don't know what you've been reading. We're trying to trade it, buddy. We're trying to trade it. We got a GM that can sell ice cubes to Eskimos, and we're going to trade it to somebody. So
I hate to
right
see
now
that.
we got Easy from the Hornets on the line, and he's ready to tell us about. He's got a new team, the Hornets, which is new. It's new to the Bahamas Flag Football League, so he's got all the stress and pressure of building a new team. But he's making a lot of progress. They brought in the right people, and he's got a good mixture of veterans and rookies, and he's ready to tell us about what he expects out of the 2023 season of the Bahamas Flag Football League. Easy, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How y'all doing?
I'm pretty good, my brother. Tell us what's happening.
It starts from preseason, and we're looking forward to having a good preseason on Sunday at 1:00. The Hornets Flag Football Team, we're not just a flag football team. We're more as a brotherhood. All right, and we're trying to bring the young generation, the young guys, the young boys off the streets. So that's the main goal here of me creating this team. Now, let's get on the competitive side of it.
But before you get where are you having the preseason? Where and what time on Sunday?
Yeah, so we'll be at the old stadium on Sunday at 1:00. Our game start at 1. Okay. I think the games goes from 1 until about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So you have about 4 or 5 hours of just good, solid flag football.
Okay. Well, I see flag football seems to be growing a lot. The NFL Pro Bowl was a flag football game. That got a bit testy.
Yes, and it gets a bit testy out on the field as well. You have a lot of competitive people playing at at one time on one field. So it's going to get a bit chippy, all right? But we looking for a great season this year, and as players, you anxious to get out there, especially after the pandemic. You know what I mean?
Is this your first year in the league? This team's first year in the league, or you've been there for a few years?
This is the Hornets' first year in the league, but I've been in the flag football league for about 7 to 8 years.
So the Hornets team now, you made up of a bunch of rookies. You have some veteran leadership, or a good mix of what?
Excuse me, Earl. Excuse me. Easy.
Yes.
I appreciate your humility, and it is admirable. Okay, but let's talk about who you are. Earl Easy is a multi-year champion in a Commonwealth of American Football League. That's the tackle league here in the Bahamas. Has been in existence since the 1960s. Easy, how many tackle championships you got?
I got 5 under my belt. 5.
5. Listeners, 5. Like Kobe, 5. You got 5.
Which
this
team?
This is the tackle league.
Which team?
Which team? The best team going around. The Stingrays. Those Stingrays.
Coach by Hepburn, my boy. Coach by Hepburn, who don't take no smack and no slapping up, my boy. You come to Providence, you do it his way, or you ain't gonna play.
All right.
Okay.
You got it.
So you got five CAFL championships with the Stingrays.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You got 5. And he's
trying to bring that and trying to turn that over in the flag league.
Okay.
With the Hornets.
So tell me about your flag league team. I mean, you got a lot of rookies, you got a lot of young people, veterans. Tell me, make up your team.
So what we did, we made up the team with half of the team rookies and half veterans. That's what we tried to do. But what happened is that we had a lot of players who never played before, who was very interested. So what we did, instead of cutting them, we brought them along, and we cut down as much veterans that we was bringing on the team.
I know they vex Puff up in Marden.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Because when you say you can't teach old dog new tricks,
yeah, that's true.
That's right.
Yeah,
and Earl, one of the things, and Easy can attest to this as well, if you don't mind interrupting. As a coach, and I've heard coaches say this, they said, you know who the biggest headache is? A veteran, because you can't tell them anything.
Yeah,
right. We're trying to bring more discipline, because on a lot of teams in the league, that's what we're lacking. We're trying to bring more discipline to the young generation coming up. All right. Now, I started the team mainly because I'm not going to be playing forever. I was playing football from I was 16. I used to play football in a school in Tampa. So it's starting to wear on me now. So the next year or two, I may have to just go in the role of coaching.
So you actually playing. You're playing. You're not coaching the flag football. You're playing.
No, I'm playing. Yes, I'm playing.
And what position you playing?
Yeah, I play quarterback now.
Okay. So what can we expect from this team? Is you gonna embarrass some teams, or you just gonna? It's just more for the experience, and you get a lot of losses this year, and you build the team up for next year. Or are you expecting to be in the money this year?
We expect to be in the money, and how can tell you, I go at everything. Everything I go at, I go to win. I don't expect nothing less than a championship. Nothing less.
Who are some of the other teams you got to look out for?
Well, let me just piggyback on this point real quick.
Yeah.
I saw them play at San Wars, and the team looked good. The San Wars tournament, flag football tournament. The team looked good. They're at the soccer stadium there on Bay Street. Team looked good. Hornets looked good. I didn't know what to expect because they're new. So I don't know how. I know maybe half played together. So I didn't know what to expect. And I was pleasantly surprised. What I saw is a team which is new. I mean, they looked and they smell new. But you saw a lot of mistakes that didn't come from being inexperienced. Mistakes which they're going to happen. It's going to happen. But you saw a team which was ahead of where I expected them to be. And so as the tournament went on, I noticed a lot of growth. Mistakes I saw in game 1, I didn't see in game 3 and 4.
Okay.
So that's when I started paying attention. I started talking to Easy, what's going on? What is the direction that you want to do this? Is this just something for fun? Because it doesn't seem to be like fun. It seems as if there's a driving force of structure and highly organized engine behind the scenes. And we kept in touch and everything. And what you see with them when you come to their practices is that you see a lot of structure. And when you see a lot of structure like what the Hornets have at their practices, the expectation is a championship. It doesn't look like recreation. I'll give an example. When you go to Saxon's practice or Valley practice, it's highly structured. When you go to Sting practice, there is no structure. So Sting ain't looking to win a championship.
Sting. No, actually, the kind of structure Sting got in the Jungle New structure. They got the grill going. They got the bass flowing.
They got that old pirate structure, right? Yeah, but when you see the way that the Hornets are structured and the people they bring in and how highly organized just the whole operation is, even if you know anything about football, you're thinking, you know what? These guys are serious. These guys are going places.
Okay. Peter, we got a caller. Let's take this caller. Caller, you on the line.
Hey, Purdy.
What's happening?
Sparky here, good buddy.
Hey, Sparky.
How y'all doing? I can hardly hear you.
I right in this corner trying to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I know Sparky used to play American football also.
Yeah, I heard. I remember you playing American football. I ain't that young, You might be
A
a little older than me, but
lot
I'm
of
that
people
young.
don't know American football started. We started off American football actually on Columbus Primary schoolyard.
Yep.
Back in the day, back in the 70s.
Yep, I remember.
It started with some guys called the Blackskins. Those, like the guys used to hang around Cleso's restaurant and lounge.
Okay.
In the valley.
Yeah.
We had like 2 teams that just meet out there every Sunday. When we started off, we just had maybe just a jersey, a blue jersey and a red jersey. So the blue used to play against the red, no name. Well, one was named the Blackskins. From there, we moved out to Eastern Parade, Malcolm Park.
Yes.
That's
and
right.
then all the other guys from rugby and so forth started coming in. Then you got the Nassau Jets, the Don Hyler, Jesse Butkus, and a bunch of those guys, Philip Allen and all of that. Nassau Marlins.
Yes.
We were sponsored by the people on the Emerald Seas cruise ship.
Yes.
They used to sponsor our team. Because
Don't forget the Bombers,
our coach
Don't
was
forget the
Ray
Bombers.
Rice.
The Backs Bombers.
He was, I think, the first vice captain or something on the cruise ship.
Okay.
So he used to come out and teach us whenever the cruise come in town. And then you had the Stingrays come out. Then the Bombers with Porky Dorset, Whitney Roll, and all that. In fact, Whitney Roll is the father of the guy, the Bahamian fellow. The Rhodes Scholar was his name, who played football as well.
Myron Rule.
Yeah, he played for Florida State.
What's his name?
Myron Rule.
Yes.
Right, that's Whitney Rhodes. Whitney went to SAC, your school, the second best school in the country.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You know, we study school, we've got D government I in the front of it. We got the THE capital D.
The only problem is the government
Like the
high don't
Bahamas
exist.
is one of the only 2 nations in the world got D Bahamas and D something. No, 2 nations got D in the front of their name. Bahamas is one. And Whitney Roll went to SAC, a bunch of the guys from school and high school. Then we moved from Malcolm Park, and then we went out to Queen Elizabeth Sports Center. That's where I actually ended my football on Malcolm Park. I ended in the intensive care.
Oh, boy. You get hit
I
too
went
hard.
down Whitney Road, coming up the north side, headed east. And, Whitney was this little short, stubby, running back.
Yeah.
I had defensive ends. I say, hey, I could get him this time. Everybody's scared of Whitney because Whitney was running with power.
Yeah.
He was also a 100-yard dash runner from SAC.
Champion, yeah.
D-second high school. But anyway, so I went down. I said, man, I can hit him in the knee. I going down, and I'll tell you the truth. Pearly,
You're going dirty.
I don't know what happened. I don't remember the ride to the Princess Margaret Hospital. I know I woke up in room.
You had a concussion.
I had what? No, I had injured what they call it, the 4th and 5th vertebrae in my spine.
Ooh.
At 71, I still having problems with that injury.
Oh boy!
But the thing is, when I went back to Deltec on that Monday morning, a few Mondays after that, I went back and the boss, Robert J. Trujillo, he came to my desk. He said, Fountain, you got to make your mind. You can play football or you could do banking. I say, Chief, I getting paid by banking. I ain't getting paid nothing from football. I going with banking. That was the end of my career, you know. But we had a lot of fun back
Sparky,
then.
hold on there, Sparky. You admit
We had no pads. When we started, we had no pads. You know, some of us even had no helmet.
Yeah.
Hold on,
He just was a shirt and pants.
Hold on,
And
Sparky.
gradually we started getting pants with pads, and one fellow will come with pad and helmet. He won't play, and he's the only one with pad and helmet. He said, no.
He won't
you
play.
can't play with them stuff unless all of us play with pad and helmet.
Exactly.
You can't be the only one on the field with pad and helmet and busting us up.
But Sparky,
You know?
Peter got a question for you, Sparky.
Yeah.
Sparky, you just admitted on Astro Radio that you went for the man's knees. How do you sleep at night?
Like a baby.
I can't have what?
He said, you admitted on national radio that you went for the guy's knees. How do you sleep at night? I say like a baby.
Well, back then, we weren't ready to coach, you know.
You
We
just
just
playing.
thought you get in the way, you stop the guy.
You go, y'all
We
watch.
didn't have all these rules. You can't hit the guy above the head, underneath the waist, all that kind of thing. Your job is to stop him from scoring.
Yeah.
You know, now they got all these rules in football. You can't touch the quarterback. The quarterback is like almost like a sissy now. Touch the quarterback. In those days, back in the old football days, the first person they're trying to get out of the game is the quarterback. Because without the quarterback, your team can lose.
That's right. And there's actually many ways.
In the old days, around Baltimore, Johnny Unitas and all of them, the first one they're trying to get out of the doggone off the field is Johnny Unitas.
Yeah, because he's the
Because
one
once
who beat
he's
him.
on that field, he can put you to pieces.
Yep.
Yes,
Now they protecting the quarterback. Nobody can touch the quarterback now.
Well, I ain't gonna make no noise because my quarterback get hurt too much, so I hope they protect him even more and more.
Yeah, well, a couple of them could get a little bruised up, but then they end up either fining the doggone fellow with him or put him out of the game or all that kind of thing. Back in the day, you get the quarterback out, man, your team lifting you up on the shoulder.
Yep.
That's so today, Sparky, we have a young man with us, Easy of the Hornets, and he said that he's using football as a vehicle to move young men forward from unfortunate circumstances in life. Do you feel that football is powerful enough to do that?
I think it's powerful enough if the young men if they see the viability if they get serious. I think it is. You see, the difference is back in the day between us before, like Pearlie say, he don't believe in spanking and beating and all that kind of thing. Take the man PlayStation away from him and all that kind of thing. Back in the day, all we had was our entertainment. Wasn't no PlayStation when we come home.
No, it wasn't.
We played rounders, we
Marbles.
played softball, we played. We was busy flying kite, making boxing cards, skating.
run up and down
We
the
were
hoop.
keeping busy, exercising.
Yep.
When mommy come home in the evening, supper time, you better be home before the sun go down. You get your supper, you do your homework, and you go to doggone
Sparky.
bed ready for school.
Mommy used to
And
leave.
if mommy and daddy, old people, even the neighbors to the corner, you ain't got to worry whether somebody can turn you up. Because if Mr. Sands down the road turn you up, and you go home and your mother found out that Mr. Sands beat you, you get another one.
Yep. But
Mr.
nowadays,
Sands ain't supposed to beat a boy. And you can't tell her nothing that Mr. Sands did this and Mr. Sands did that. Because Mr. Sands did what Mr. Sands had to do for a reason.
Yep.
Right.
These
But now,
days,
Sparky, what
talk
your
about a
advice
child
be
coming
to
in
the young
my
man?
house with an AK-47, a pistol, a what? That better be a BB gun.
Sparky. What would you tell Easy? What advice you would give him in reference to what he's trying to do with these young
what
people?
he's trying to do and
With these young boys.
what would your advice be? to him?
Well, now my experience is the best teacher, like the old people said. Education is most important. That education, you ain't going far in life these days without that. Find something that you could do with your hands, or find something you could do with your brain. If you was a good plumber, be the best plumber, a mechanic, whatever it is in the hand. If you was a good computer man, accountant, whatever it is, be the best.
Sparky, not to cut you off, but I meant the young man who's doing the flag football program. What would your advice be to him in helping the young man?
I can't hear you.
He's asking. He says, "What advice would you give the young man who's teaching these young boys how to play flag football? What advice you would give him to tell these young boys he's playing football with? What football advice? What would you tell?
I don't know. See, I've been away from the youngsters. This generation for some time now because to be truthful about it, I'm almost afraid to hang around the young generation. I stop off to a pub to pick up a cold beer. Fella coming in there, it ain't Mr. this or Mr. that. Hey, Dad. Brother, I'm not your dad. Where you get that from?
I hate when they call me that, but Pops or
Mr.
Dad.
Fountain, Sparky, hey, that's cool with me.
Yeah.
But I ain't your dad.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know where they get that
That's
from.
the new slang.
Many
amongst
young
your-
men walking around here
That's the
with
slang.
the jeans round the knee and the underpants up round the boom boom and no belt, and you while you walking, you got to be pulling up your pants.
Yeah.
When you look at the young women, they dress so tight, they got to be pulling it down while they walk. Well, what's the sense? What you doing? Why are you doing that?
No,
Why you buy
Sparky,
a pants
Sparky.
with loops in it to put
Sparky.
a belt in it, but you ain't got no belt?
Sparky, we running from sports, and I can get it.
No, but you ask them for the advice and so forth. First of all, keep them on the field until the sunset. Make them sweat. Make them love the line a good way to go. Trust me.
Thanks,
and
Sparky.
teach them brotherhood.
Thank you, Sparky.
Thanks for calling. Listen, Easy.
Yes, sir.
The texter says, "Hi, what does it cost to sponsor a flag football team?"
Okay, right now, you're looking at the league fee. It's about $2,500.
Okay.
Uniforms can run you anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000.
Okay.
You're looking at gas, drinks. You're looking at another for a whole year. So you're looking at about $6,000 to $7,000 to sponsor
To do it right.
a team.
Okay.
To do it right.
Okay, appreciate that. Before we wrap up, because I got to get to the scope to the lineup for the night and predictions and picks.
Okay.
Peter.
Well, Easy, you want to give a shout out to your sponsor?
Yes, I would like to shout Noel's Holiday there on Market Street. You all go there. They're very, very, very reasonable. The food is very, very good. He's a big sports fan, and we go there on Sundays. Football season is over now, but we go there on Sundays, and that's where we be. I don't know if you all saw all the videos with the guys in the road when Dolphins win and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's where it is. Noel's Holiday on Market Street.
Okay.
Earl, that's your new spot there, buddy.
Yep.
Easy, I want to thank you for calling in. I wish the Hornets best of luck. I'll come out on Sunday and take a peep at you, and I'll come out and watch a couple of flag football games this season. Thanks for calling in. Peter, stay with me.
Look for me to get a t-shirt.
I will.
Team buzz. Woo!
Thanks for calling,
Yes, sir.
Easy. So, Peter, let's get to the picks. Let's see what we got going tonight. Well, exhibition. I keep saying exhibition. Preseason baseball or preseason baseball is going on, and most games are played in the daytime. So like the Dodgers are leading the Padres 7-4. The Rockies all over the Athletics 7-4. The Guardians leading the Cubs 12-4. The Texas Rangers leading the Cincinnati Reds 12-2. The Brewers are over the Royals 10-4. Plenty fours in this today.
Well, I'm still getting used to saying Guardians.
Yeah. But we got tonight. Let's look at the NBA lineup for tonight. We've got the Detroit Pistons at 7:00. Detroit is at the Charlotte Hornets. We got the Miami Heat. This should be a good one, Peter. Miami Heat at the Philadelphia 76ers at 7:00 tonight. The 7:30. And then at 8:00 tonight, we've got the Orlando Magic and the New Orleans Pelicans. And you know that NCAA is wrapping up right now, so the games by the weekend, all the regular season will be finished. So you got North Carolina and Florida State tonight. Iowa State is hosting West Virginia, and Baylor is at Oklahoma. So who do you like, Peter? Pistons at the Hornets?
Zion.
He's out.
Is playing down there with the Pelicans, and up there we got Melo. Don't know. I'm talking with two very good young players. I'm going to go with the Hornets.
Okay, the Heat or the Sixers?
Heat.
I'll go with the Sixers. Celtics or the Knicks?
Celtics.
Yeah, I'll go with the Celtics. And the Magic or the New Orleans Pelicans?
The Magic. Is there a team that, or maybe two teams who are under the radar? You know, not people don't expect much out of them, but you got a good feeling about them in your gut.
And
it means the Magic and
you got that feeling.
Hornets.
You got that feeling with them?
I do. I just feel that they got something good going. I just got to add some pieces, but they got the right culture.
The culture, because you know they're way down the bottom of the pecking order, right?
Which is why they're like someone no one thinks is gonna, they got to move in the right direction.
Okay, I see that the Lakers have moved up a spot from 13th to 12th spot. They're really only a game out of the 10th spot, a game out of the 9th spot, a game and a half out of the 8th spot, 2 games out of the 7th spot, and 2.5 games out of the 6th spot, and actually 3 games out of the 5th spot, and 3.5 out of so they're in the money. They've been they keep winning.
Let's summarize all that
Uh-huh.
in the NBA Western Conference.
Yep.
There are 10 teams who are in the playoffs. Spots 6 to what? Spots what? 5 to 8.
You've got from 6 to 13. 6 to actually the 6 to 13 within 3 games of each other.
So you got what? 7 teams?
The Mavericks, the Warriors, the Jazz, the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, the Blazers, the Lakers, and the Thunder. That's 8 teams?
Right. So right now the Western Conference has 13 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, basically in the money.
Because everyone's like within a game or a half a game of each other. So you got 13 teams in the playoffs at this point.
And then if you look at the Eastern Conference ain't doing too bad either now, because you've got from the 7th place Miami Heat from the 7th place Miami Heat to the 12th place. They've been in 5 games.
So 5 games is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough.
Yeah, that's pretty much so. But if you look at the 8th, 9th, and 10th, they only a game above the 11 and 12 person.
5 isn't bad if you're playing the teams ahead of you.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Then it's like, well, you're not really 5 out. Games, and you're going to go up 1, they're going to go down 1. Then you're not really 5 out. You're like really like 2 out, because those games for when you beat them, you go up 1 spot and they go down 1 spot, right? So it's like a net gain of 2 games because they're gonna So it's better. So 5, if you're playing some teams in front of you, 5 is good. The NFL Combine started today.
Yep. Did you watch any of it yet? I haven't got a chance to watch it. I'll watch some of it tonight.
I watched some tonight like you too.
Yeah.
I had Jalen Carter's not the starting tackle, the next Aaron Donald, the next Jonathan Sue.
I see Bryce Young is not going to throw at the combines. He's going to wait till his pro day.
He's going to have to play with a dome team.
People are telling him he better not throw at them combines if he won't be a top pick.
Because he's like 180 pounds.
Yeah, he's small.
Mike Green from ESPN is bigger than he is. He's guy's 5'11", 5'10".
But he got numbers.
He's my size.
But he put up the
numbers.
He's
my size.
But Peter, he got put
up
the numbers. He put up the numbers, Peter. He put up the numbers.
Yeah, but the thing is, other people putting up numbers too. You know what those numbers are? 310 pounds. And when they fall on top of you, they make pancakes. So look at how much time the little Oompa Loompa there in Arizona. Look how much time he missed this year.
Point.
Point. You're like, it's not good. Like the football is getting like Sparky saying, "Oh, you got to protect the quarterbacks." Yes. You know why? Because the people who want to eat the quarterbacks are getting bigger, faster, and stronger. So you got to protect them. Still made out of bone, and the muscles are made out of muscle. We're not all of a sudden, made out of adamantium. We're still human. So you got to protect the quarterbacks.
And Peter, you've had the last say. We're out of time.
Okay. I gotta say, go Saxons, and hope the Lakers make a good run. I'm looking forward, though, more than anything else, to see what the Miami Dolphins do in the draft. I'm so curious
We'll talk about that tomorrow. Remember, the Fidelity BAISS Track and Field Championships begin on Wednesday. Naughty will be back tomorrow. We want to thank all our sponsors. We want to thank all our callers, all our texters. Thanks for making this a pretty good, easy time for me. I enjoyed myself, enjoyed being here. Look forward to coming back again. Thank you a lot, Peter, for helping me out. Roscoe, Ms. Reckley, and Abaco, thank you for joining us. Thank you to Mr. Producer. You've done a great job. Make it feel good for me. And thanks for not throwing. I actually, God is a good God, because I left my Dodger hat here Friday. I thought it was gone. And then Naughty called me to come back, so I got my Dodger hat back. God bless everybody. Stay safe. And if you can't stay safe, be careful.